Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very, very exciting episode of Psychopinion. Thank you for jumping in there. I almost forgot. That is having a reliable crew, folks.
Doing what we can.
Because I got excited and I almost missed our intro. The reason I'm saying that today is very exciting is because this is going to be our first Psychopinion adventure. We've been talking for a while based on some of our previous shows about urban legends and things like that, and we've decided that we're going to go check out some local urban legends. We're going to start in North Carolina, specifically in our area here. We're in the Greenville-Pitt County area, and this first one is a little near and dear to our good friend Rob here.
Oh, yes.
What we're talking about is the Pactolus Lights in North Carolina, and you can look this up. It's all over Google or anything else. And the reason I say this is near and dear is because Rob grew up for a good portion of his life here in Greenville, and this is one of those urban legends that teenagers would go out and try to explore.
That's true. That's what I did.
So, Rob has, we're like, probably 15 years or something in the past here. Rob was doing this very thing on his own just as a teenager in Greenville. So what I want to do here is I want to tell you a little bit about the story before we get out on the road and see this thing for ourselves. So, now, like urban legends go, and we talked about this actually on our show, Urban Legends versus Creepypastas, is that urban legends is like the ultimate game of telephone. The stories vary, and the stories are different, and I tried my best to find the story that seems the most legit and factual out of all of the stories that I've researched about the Pactolus Lights, and I'd like to go ahead and get into the background of that a little bit. The year is sometime around 1910. And if anybody knows anything about Greenville, North Carolina, it's ECU territory. Go Pirates.
Go Pirates.
Big deal here.
That's pretty much the town. We became who we were because ECU.
Because of ECU, the Pirates, and it's huge here, and we sometimes have a good football program, so if you're into that, go ahead and check that out. ECU is relevant to this because this story involves two people that were getting an education at the school, at a education training school, which, a year or two down the road after this happened became ECU. And so full circle, that's why we're discussing ECU. So we're talking about a man named Edwin Cox. And sometime around 1910, Edwin Cox was in this education program, and he met this woman that he fell in love with. When the semester ended, she went back to her hometown of Richmond, but at this point they had fallen in love, and she was going to be coming back the following year, and Edwin Cox decided that he wanted to propose to this lady. So, Edwin Cox found out that she was going to be taking a train that was going to be entering Pactolus, and he decided to go there to meet her and to propose to her. So, as the story goes, her train was much later than expected, and he found himself in an unfamiliar place, and it's getting dark, and it's starting to become dusk out. And there's a couple of bad guys, a couple of
ne'er-do-wells
in the area, and they see him and they see his horse, and they figure this is a good opportunity to get something. Unfortunately, there are people like that. So he's on his horse, and it's starting to get dark, and he decides, okay, well, I need to go ahead and head back to Greenville because it's getting dark and I'm in an unfamiliar area, and this could be dangerous. So these two men decide to hide in the bushes and scare and ambush Edwin Cox. And in doing this, they scare the horse away. So Edwin Cox's horse runs away without him. The bad guys do not get his horse. And they kill Edwin Cox, and they hide him in the brush. So the horse returns back to Greenville a couple of days later. By this point, Edwin Cox, the family and friends know that something's wrong. Something's amiss. He's not around, and the horse comes back without him. So, at this point, he is dead, and Edwin Cox, that is, and the whole urban legend behind this is it's the Pactolus Light. So what we're talking about here is that the light is the soul of this man, if you will, like an orb.
Or like a will-o-wisp, maybe, or a little lingering piece of foxfire.
Foxfire. Anyway, so the light of the murdered young man trying to show his true love that he had indeed been there to meet her train. So they say the light in the story that I've got here says it says that today you'll see the light out where the tracks used to run to Pactolus, the light of the murdered young man, trying to show his true love that he had indeed been there to meet her train. I took the light as being, his aura, his whatnot. That's the way that I kind of read the story, is it's just kind of him, and the light is kind of our symbolic gesture of searching for his true love.
So where did, or is that the whole story?
That's the story that I have. That's what I have. That is what I have here from. I've read many stories, and this is the one to me that seems the most solid, together, truthful, accurate.
Because, as you said earlier, it's kind of like a game of telephone. It's wildly different from my version that I grew up with. It's also a tale about two lovers. But in my version, it was the woman who passed away. She was waiting at the train stop night after night, with a lantern.
Who is she waiting for?
Her beloved.
So is he supposed to be coming in by train? Is that
yes.
Okay.
And I think he was off at war or something.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've heard the story told to me. But that's the way I remember it. And one night she went up there, and I guess the train has this little mail latch that swings out, and as the train goes, it'll drop a bag of mail onto a hook.
Okay.
And someone had left this hook out by accident, and it decapitated her.
Oh. Okay.
And so, I guess in my version, it's the ghost carrying a light.
Okay.
A decapitated ghost still waiting for her lost lover.
I was going to say the lantern definitely gives us a good reason for the light.
Well, I mean, also a lot of stories about ghosts and whatnot, they're always like a light or like a will-o-wisp.
Yeah.
So that's very common as well.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that it does kind of have very similar, it's always, someone waiting for their loved one at a railroad track.
And I could see it changing to that, because to be quite honest with you, I do think it's more romantic and dramatic being a woman for some reason. I feel like that your version of the story kind of, I don't know, I think in the spiritual world, women are almost more creepy or romanticized or something. I feel like there's more, I don't know, it adds a certain value of some kind.
Well, I'm interested to see what we can find out from other people and see if we can find some other stories of what other people have heard.
And that is exactly what we're going to do. So we've got the story that I found here. We've got Rob's story that he remembers from growing up. I would love to go out and see what some locals maybe have to say about this, and we're going to go to the site and check it out and kind of give you what we give you our findings and kind of what we come across, and kind of see the story unfold. And I'm very excited about that. So we're going to get our crew, get our equipment, and get out there and see what we can find.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. So we will see you soon.
All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So during high school, when we were younger, we would go grab, a couple drinks and underage and go sit at the Pactolus Light and get spooked out.
That's pretty cool.
And a couple of times I do feel like I saw the light, but...
Gotcha. How about some of the people that were with you the day?
Yes.
And how did you hear about it originally when you went out there?
Everyone talked about it at school, like, have you been to Pactolus Light? And everyone said it was haunted, so it was something I always wanted to try, and I did it probably like 5 or 6 times. would
Roughly how
say.
long ago was that? I won't try to age you
wow.
or anything.
No, so I am 30 now, so this is when I was maybe like 16, 15.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so it's a long time. I haven't been back since, but.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. We're going to hope to do the same and see what we can find.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Or they used to stay there all the time.
Gotcha.
That was, down towards Bath a little further.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my biggest thing right now is just determining, we've heard that it's privately owned, and I don't know if you can just walk right up on there or what, if there's posted signs or what, so hopefully we'll find out. But
Yeah, that's why we're going to try to
find out.
yeah, if 3 guys go missing and we're in the newspaper, you know where we were at least.
I had no idea that's what y'all were talking about. Because I didn't know where we were compared to Pactolus, because I'm from
Gotcha.
Greenville.
Okay.
But, oh shit, yeah. I can tell you a story.
Nice young lady who's divulged that she does. Oh, there you go. So tell me about the Pactolus Lights. What do you know about it?
Well, when I was 15 years old, my brother, he decided to take me and his girlfriend and 2 other of our friends down there because we wanted to see if it was true.
Okay.
And he was driving his Mustang. I remember it just like it was yesterday. So we had a fast getaway. And we went down there and we parked the car and we decided to start walking where you're supposed to see it at. And this was probably about 12:30 at night. And as we were all walking, we ended up, swear to God, we ended up seeing a light.
Okay.
We ran as fast as we could. We got back in the Mustang, and I remember climbing in the back seat, and me and my best friend were looking out the back window, and it was coming after us. It was
wild.
chasing us until we finally got off that road and back on the main road. It followed us all the way down, and my brother said he could see it in the rearview mirror, the light coming at us too.
And there's virtually nothing out there,
There's
right?
nothing. It's pitch black, and there's nothing. And
Okay.
there's nothing out. There's no buildings, nothing like that, and we were scared to death. We went back and told all of our friends at high school the next day, and of course they didn't believe us. There was a few that had to go check it out themselves, but I didn't ever hear from them to find out if they saw it or not. But we saw it. We saw a light. Scared the mess out of us.
That's awesome. There's been a few people that have stated that they've had some sort of situation or instance that they could speak to that was not necessarily normal, and that does not sound normal.
Yeah,
so.
and because I don't believe in that. Man, never had believed in it and stuff like that or whatever. So I just thought it was gonna be fun to go out there and just hang out in the dark and run around. I had no clue. But when we saw it, and there was nobody out there. There was nobody that knew we were coming or anything. I mean, this was just a late Sunday night. We knew we had school the next morning. We didn't care. We went out there, and sure enough, it was chasing us down the road. And we took off, but we didn't get caught. So
That's wild. We're looking to do something similar tonight, hopefully. Well, I don't know if we want to have the same experience you did or
might
not.
see it, but just make sure you got a fast getaway
There
because
you
you don't
go.
want it to catch you.
We don't have a Mustang this time, but
Oh, goodness.
we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
All right. Have a good day.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So we've been traveling around today, talking to locals and kind of getting an idea of where Pactolus Lights is. This is where we've ended up from directions we had from online and also people we spoke to. We got this long road behind me, and there's a road that goes the other direction behind Rob there. They're both obviously grown over and not in much use anymore. Got this damaged yellow barrier here, and the place is riddled with no trespassing signs, and so this might be where it ends, unfortunately. I'm not really sure if there's much more we can do.
I just took a trip around the entire property, and there's only 2 ways in, and both of them are blocked off. And like you said, there's no trespassing everywhere. So the last thing I want to do is get into major trouble or get hurt over this.
I don't see the. Does anybody see the tracks? I don't see the tracks.
There aren't any anymore. They've
They've been pulled up?
They pulled them
Yeah,
up.
they pulled them up.
Okay, so this spot here is where I think people say you come up here and then you blink the lights, right?
I think it's either this one or this is definitely the area though. Hands down.
Well, what we're doing right now,
We're definitely in the vicinity.
I've got to believe that you need to go deeper into the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, we can come back and say that we went to this particular spot. I mean, I'm obviously not willing to go any further. There's a toilet seat down there if you want to get it.
all this trash and stuff here kind of makes me feel like people still come and chill here, though. There's a lot of drink bottles and stuff.
Yeah, there's a toilet seat down there. There's cat food. All sorts of shit. There's a shoe.
I don't know.
Who brings 2 dozen eggs down here?
2 dozen eggs in a shoe.
Teenagers.
That's got to be,
Hey.
Oh,
There's
hey.
the ticket right there.
We got the used rubber. No urban legend spot is completed without a used rubber.
Windshield wiper. I mean, there's a hodgepodge of interesting things here. You could come for all of the stuff on the side of the road.
I dig it though, man. It's got a presence about it.
I mean, you got all this shit, right? The toilet seat's the clincher, man. I mean, the rubber we can stay out of, but the toilet seat, that's a fucking.
I'm saying beyond all the trash and everything though, it's got a presence, man. This is kind of a cool spot.
Well, it's very heavily wooded.
After talking about it,
Yeah, no,
getting into it all day.
it always was heavily wooded.
But I mean,
No.
but talking about it all day and kind of, with the locals and stuff, I don't know, it's kind of got a presence to it. It might just be what's in my head from what we've been doing.
Go to the next one down just to get like both, just in case, because it's gonna be one of these two. I want to get the no trespassing sign, and then get the other side as well.
Is that other one within walking distance?
The other one was right down here. It's really close. Pull it up on your phone.
You think, buddy?
So right there, that's it.
Oh,
Literally right there.
the tracks. Oh, the other road.
The other road,
Okay.
just to get the shot.
Yeah. You mind us hitting this other road just to get the shot? Really quick. Where? The road that we passed, the other one? The other.
So right there, that next one down.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
is. Driven up here and we're pulling in right now. Here it is.
All right. Should we go ahead and flash the lights now, or?
Pretty ominous.
Yeah, I mean that's the legend, right? We flash the lights and we see a light back.
Does it flash it like 3 times, or?
It's usually 3. So on the camera, I see a light here or something. What is that? You see that
On the camera, yeah. Let's see if I'm back here.
What the fuck is that?
Could be the reflection off the windshield.
I think we should get out and look.
Yeah, we need to get out.
That's fucking weird, though.
It is weird. That's really bright on the camera. I can't see anything.
That's not even like a reflection or anything, though.
Yeah,
It's
no,
coming
that's
from over there.
it's outside of the vehicle.
And it just disappeared, and nothing's changed. So,
Whoa! Yeah.
what the fuck was that? Did you guys see that?
I
That
did.
light just disappeared.
That's wild. So I didn't see that
I didn't
with
see
my
it
eyes, but I saw it on the
on
camera.
the camera. Yeah.
Do we want to try this again?
Or do we want to get out for a
Let's
minute?
get out for a minute. Let's check it out.
Here, Rob.
Yeah, pass me the camera. All right.
That's fucking weird, guys. Holy shit.
That is pretty weird.
What the fuck? That's awesome. Let's get out for a minute and see. You see anything down there with that light on?
I can't see anything.
And that's night vision?
Yeah, it only picks up when like it's super close. I can try the different
Can you
ones.
see me?
Yeah, when you're super close like that.
It is dark as fuck out here, guys.
Regular. It really picks up nothing. I can't even see you. Vehicle.
I just heard something, yo. I'm trying to be weird, but I just heard something like a crunch.
I thought that was Steven.
I feel like I heard a little bit of a crunch out there, man.
We can turn night into day whenever you're ready.
I don't know. We can give it a shot. I want to do that right before we leave.
Because this ain't picking up anything. Yeah.
You see, Rob?
Yeah, no, that was perfect.
It's fucking wild.
Nothing picking up. Because that spot was like around this-ish area, right, Jake?
That spot to me looked like it was like right there, like right on the road, top left of the road.
Yeah, because it's not picking up anything.
That's what it looked like to me, top left of the road.
You got that super flashlight?
I don't see anything now, but I definitely saw that light in the car.
That was pretty crazy, though.
I don't know if we're gonna see anything else, but I definitely want to take a look more at that, at what we saw in the car there.
Well, we can go on in.
Hear that? This is awfully loud.
Yeah, there's some weird sounds out here for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of wildlife.
direction. See that little reflective light out there?
Yeah.
A little reflector. There's fucking spooky shit out here.
Oh, it's like dark as hell. It's dark as hell. There's sounds everywhere. Do you see anything without the light?
No.
No, you don't see anything?
No.
I mean, I see that reflector down there, but this other direction here, I mean, I thought I saw a light when we pulled in clear as day.
Oh yeah, the other direction, which is like this way.
Fucking weird.
What's that?
Right there, the center of my beam. See that?
What is that?
I don't know. It was moving. Now it's gone.
Looks too big to be a,
Do you see it though?
yeah, but it looked too big to be like a firefly or anything.
Wait, look. Watch it. It was moving around. There's another one. See that? The fuck is that?
Huh.
You seeing that?
Whoa.
Get over here.
Yeah, no, I see it.
There's 3 of them now.
That might be like deer's eyes or something.
I don't know. It's pretty fucking crazy though.
Huh.
There's some animals out there. Ain't no doubt. Oh damn, one right there too. See those?
Huh.
See that little reflection right there?
Yeah, there's some deer.
There's a bunch of animals out here.
Whoa!
Did you see it?
I just did.
Did you see it? Did you get it on camera?
On camera?
You didn't pick it up.
Those were big.
Those weren't eyes. That was a light, bro.
No, that was an absolute light. It was just like you popping your flashlight up and,
Right.
up and down.
Because that little reflector's been there the whole time. That
No,
was
that
about
was-
half of the distance closer to us.
No, I saw what Rob was talking about. It was a separate
That was
light.
wild.
Yeah. And I'm waiting for it to pop
You didn't
back
get that
up,
on
and it's
camera?
not.
I mean, it didn't pick it up. It doesn't even pick
Well,
up
we
the
don't know
reflector.
about it. We'll have to look afterwards and see.
That's fucking crazy, guys.
I'm definitely not wanting to see any of these lights get any closer, though. That means, look at those over there. See all those?
Yeah.
It's funny, it's probably just deer, but... It's kind of spooky shit.
Alright.
That's so crazy.
No, that's a reflector. There's a red reflector down there now, right?
There's that...
Why is there a red reflector now?
No, the one on the bottom right is eyes. But now it's... No, you see that bright light?
Yeah, there was a red light.
Dude, that is nuts.
Is that a goddamn, like, somebody, like, got a scope on us?
No. That was illuminating on its own down in the bottom right. You saw that?
As soon as you pulled down, I
Yes,
didn't remember the
it
red
remained reflected.
Did you see the red light on the camera?
light. No.
What the hell?
It's over
dude?
there now.
So dead center of this opening and clearing down to the middle right of where that reflector is, that right there, look. That right now that just illuminated,
Turn the light off and see if we can get it on camera.
it's illuminating. Look at that. Are you seeing that shit right now?
Zoom in.
Are you seeing that right now?
Yes, he's
wow.
got it on
What
camera.
is
It
that?
just popped on the...
What is that?
I don't know. That shit looked like it was getting closer, though.
Yeah, man. I think I'm good on that.
Hey, Rob, I think we got some lights, man.
No.
Dude, that's some crazy shit right there.
We're back here after examining the Pactolus Lights, and that's what we are going to talk about right now is our experience out there at night, checking out the lights and what we came across. So, Steve, if you want to go ahead and start us off
Sure.
on our experience
Yeah, obviously we were out there during the day to kind of get a lay of the land. We noticed that it was heavily wooded. There were a few areas on one side of the road that was completely wooded with a narrow pass, and that's what we had intended on doing our research was for that purpose alone. Of course, we ended up getting to the opposite side of the road where there again was a narrow like tree line that we could follow along, but on either side of that there was a large field. And so something that we noticed right out of the gate when we started illuminating the area with our flashlight, which was a 2,000 lumen flashlight, extremely bright.
Yeah, that's some of the highest lumens you'll see on a small flashlight.
Warm in my hand to the touch. That we could see with our eyes much better than what the camera could pick up. So the light would illuminate out 100 yards and virtually turn night into day. We could see that with our eyes, but the camera itself could not pick up that light in that distance.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, not to cut you off, Steve, but
Sure.
me being new at this, and I've gone to haunted houses and I've done things like this, but being new at bringing a video camera with me and kind of messing with the light, I've got to say I was actually quite surprised at how different your vision, your eyes, what you could pick up versus a camera.
Right.
I mean, you're probably talking a difference. To me, it felt like of maybe 100 yards or so difference of field of sight. And I just wanted to add that in there from my personal experience. I thought that was very strange. Just not expecting that, you know.
Sure, and when you illuminate something like that too, and pull that light away, I don't recall the terminology behind it, but your eyes kind of paint a picture of what you saw originally, and it stays there momentarily before it fades out. And so if we're raising the flashlight up and down, we're almost still getting a crystal clear view of what's happening regardless. But again, to speak to that, and we notice this in the footage, it's so dark and it's so black, but yet we were seeing a lot more out there than what the camera was able to pick up.
Without the light, it was almost extremely, it was almost completely dark, almost completely black. Our eyes did adjust. My eyes adjusted slightly, but still a total difference between having
There
the
was
light
hardly
on.
any moonlight out there too.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah.
We were where we were at. We were pretty much covered by trees, and where there would be moonlight was it was a pretty dark night, actually, which I think only enhanced our abilities of catching anything at that point. Quite frankly, so I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, no. So having spoken to that, there were again things that we were able to see that the camera didn't pick up. For example, the reflection of a lot of eyeballs out in the wooded area beyond the field, which we obviously were thinking would be deer and maybe some small animals, maybe a Sasquatch.
Most likely. Yeah, who knows?
But we were able to immediately determine that those were in fact eyeballs of animals.
Deer's eyes.
Deer's eyes,
I
as
believe is
somebody
what
said.
I said in
Yeah.
the heat of the moment. Deer's eyes.
Deer's eyes, which was cool in its
I'm
own
out of
right.
it.
As they changed elevation and blinked and turned their heads, it was kind of a cool show. And again, weren't able to pick that up on the camera.
Oh, there's a couple dozen out there. It looked like to me. I mean, just going in and out of the woods on the other side of that field there.
Sure.
And I'll go ahead and as we're talking, I'll go ahead and put up some Google Earth images and circle, and some points here that we're talking about, so you can get a better idea. We did show you. We did show you.
satellite view.
Yeah, we did show you the daytime view, but also kind of having that above map to see where we are versus what we're seeing.
So yeah, and again, the area on the opposite side of the road, which is what we pulled into and pointed our truck towards, kind of did not produce a whole lot. We thought maybe we saw something initially, determined immediately it was a reflection on the windshield of the truck itself.
And you'll see me getting really excited about that because I didn't notice when we pulled in the light being there until we reviewed the footage. When we pulled in, by the time I had seen the light, I only saw it through the camera and not with my naked eye. I thought that was very exciting. You'll hear on the tape me and Rob getting very excited about that. I think Steven also gets a little excited about that towards the end. But that is 100% a reflection, and when we went back and saw the footage, that's what it was.
Right. So as we invested some time in that area and kind of came up nil, I opted to walk around the other way and start looking on the other side of the road just for the hell of it.
Yeah, and I followed with the camera.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you guys did, because our directions, our instructions, what we had gathered from a few sources was that you pull into this little cut where we pulled in, where you see us pull in, flash your light. It didn't even say how many times. I just assumed 3. It's always 3. Everything's always 3 in like urban legends, fairy tales, and shit. People always do things 3 times. So I assumed 3 times, and that was supposed to be the side that things were on.
Right.
But if you see on the map, that will show you that there's a long trail. So realistically, it kind of makes sense that it could be anywhere on that trail. But at first, we were kind of just following the instructions. And I'm glad that these guys decided to go ahead and explore further than that, because, quite honestly, I wasn't even really thinking.
Well, the way I figured it would happen, I mean, it's the old lay of where the old tracks were.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not the only spot those tracks were at.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, why not check, see if we can see anything else, since we weren't having any luck in that one direction.
Right.
So.
And where we may have gone wrong is I was holding the flashlight and you were holding the camera, so we weren't always fixed on the same location. And again, the screen appears black in a lot of instances until that flashlight comes into view, which once again, and I can't elaborate enough on this, illuminated much more than what the camera shows. We could see off 100 yards clear as day. We could count leaves on the trees. So, but as we were looking on that side, we were able to, and I believe you can see it in the footage, there was a small reflector, almost like a tape reflector on a tree. Or an actual stick up post or whatever.
You can see it when the light is shining. It's a very small but very bright white dot.
Correct.
And that is a reflector. So when we're talking about this reflector, and you see that there, what we're talking about is the kind of reflector you'd typically see on those small posts, or even some people put on their mailboxes. And we're probably talking about maybe
think of the backside of a bicycle, like right underneath the seat, something very small.
We're talking about a 2 to 3 inch circle in diameter reflector. So that also gives you an idea of the size you're looking at when you're looking into the woods. You're looking at this 2 to 3 inch probably in diameter circle reflector, and it looks like a dot.
Yeah, we do catch it on camera, and it's literally just a pinpoint. It's very small.
Right. It's a place of.
And I'll circle that as well as we're talking about it, the reflector.
Yeah. So I mean, in essence, it's able to give us an origin point, something that we can go off of, and as a reflector, it only illuminates light if light is reflecting off of it. So as I raise my flashlight to that reflector, it becomes illuminated. So as we're doing that, we at one point in time, or I pull the flashlight down and I see something illuminate on its own, slightly to the right and lower of it. And the reflector itself, if I had to guess, was probably 100 yards out, maybe a little bit further. This appeared to be illuminating on its own, maybe halfway between myself and that reflector, to kind of give a distance. Couldn't be certain for sure, but I called out, "Hey, are you catching this?" Because it was quite awkward.
And that's where I'll show the footage again of what we're talking, or maybe for the first time, depending on how I edit this. But this is where things get weird. This is where I'm not necessarily sure what we're looking at here. Being the skeptic, I would like to say that I have some kind of answer to this, and this is just something that I'm not really sure what's happening here. Rob, you having the camera, why don't you go ahead and explain kind of what you were seeing at this point with this light?
When we had turned around to get to the other direction, I tried to be kind of as still as possible, and especially when we were looking down that actual run where the tracks would have been. I tried to stay as stationary as I could. So while I'm there, I'm trying to keep it calm, steady, and there goes the light. And you can see the light flashing up, and then in the video the light goes away and there's still a little blip of light. Now, what I saw with my bare eyes, not just the camera, was the first time it was little white light, and it was to a little bit of the right and down from where the reflector would have been.
Looked a little bit larger than the reflector.
But it was a lot larger than the actual reflector. And it appeared at least 2 other times that I saw, and I was deadpan just staring down that direction the entire time, and it turned more red, and it seemed like it was getting closer.
Right. At no point in time while we were out there did we see any lightning bugs.
No.
At any point in time, there's no man-made structures out there. There's no houses, no sheds, and it's clear to see in Google Earth. You can look down and see that there's nothing there. I did find it odd after the fact as I looked at this that where I would estimate where that light was projecting from was underneath heavy power lines.
Power lines,
going
yeah,
through.
I noticed that too.
And so I don't know what correlation that might have.
Well, I believe that sometimes they do say paranormal. Sometimes they need a
Source of power,
source of power. Yeah, for something to be able to come to light. No pun intended.
And we have our very own Frankenstein's monster and
Well,
Pactolus Lights, huh?
And I mean, I'm a skeptic, and I've said that 100 times.
Can't even remember what you say.
I'm a hard 9 fingering a 10 is what I say, Stephen. And so I'm a huge skeptic, and I will say that I was focusing the whole time on everything around that light. What could it be? Was there somebody holding something? Was there somebody coming towards us? Was there, I thought of a drone. I thought of anything that could have a light on it, especially a light that would change color from white to red. And I did not see a single thing, and you can stop, pause the video, anything when you see that light. I did not see a single thing that indicated to me that anybody was carrying or holding this light, which we would have seen with this high-powered flashlight. We would have seen anything. And quite frankly, this is a Saturday night, right? Saturday night, and it was 9:30 at night we were out there. Looking at the map, there's why would anybody be sitting out there at 9:30 at night? There's not going to be anybody just sitting out in the woods at 9:30 at night. And I even thought before we saw the Google Earth, I thought it was a little more populated than it was. But when you see Google Earth, you really realize we're in the middle of nowhere.
And there's no houses anywhere really close by.
Right. Or no street lights,
Yeah.
even on the road to get there. It's pitch black.
And
Without
me-
headlights, you can't find where you're going.
And me, being the skeptic that I am, I watched this multiple times, and I want to point out what I've noticed. And what I noticed is, a reflector is only going to work when you are reflecting light off of it. This light is still lit. I would almost say this is more of an orb. I would call it an orb. This orb is still lit without the flashlight on it, and you can clearly see the flashlight coming off of it. It's still lit. Now I'm thinking, what else could this light source be?
Right.
Flashlight? Well, we all know that a flashlight behaves a certain way. A flashlight is going to emit
It would
light.
have left a trail of beam.
Yeah, there would have been a beam, an emission of light. This was not an emission of light. It was a light source, to say, like an orb, but there was no light emitting from this in any direction. There was not a flashlight or any kind of light coming back towards us, which there probably would have been, being that if somebody had a flashlight, in order for us to see a light like that, it would have been flashing the light in our direction, and we would have seen that light emitting, and even the camera would have picked that up. So to me, how this light or orb, as I want to call it, behaves is very peculiar. Because what would it be if it's not a reflector or a light source that would emit light? You could think to yourself, well, maybe this is a deer cam stand.
Trail camera is what I initially
Trail
thought.
camera is what I'm thinking, or a drone. And when you think about it like that, that would explain, the drone would explain the movement, but the deer cam would not.
Right.
And this thing did move. We saw that. It shows on the camera in different places. But a drone,
Drones don't really move like that.
No, and a drone has to be operated by somebody
And it,
too. And
it
nobody
makes sound.
Yeah.
You can hear a drone.
And that's what I was actually alluding to next, is that while there were animal sounds around us, there were branches clicking, things like that, cracking, however you... it was a pretty quiet night. I didn't hear any... There wasn't a lot of wind. I didn't hear any sounds that would indicate a drone. And not only that, but when we put the flashlight on it, there was no indication of it being anything holding this orb.
Right, where this light was illuminating from, we could clearly see with the flashlight on it that there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And so, again, when I had anticipated that it could potentially be like a trail camera, it's something small that's attached to a tree, maybe behind some leaves, and could
potentially illuminate light if it was trying to focus between night and day. I was like, well, it's daytime, it's nighttime. Maybe it doesn't understand. And I've spoken to some hunter friends of mine, and they say they don't work that way. They don't have a light source. They don't have the ability to do that. Also, that the light was white, and we had seen it like that a handful of times. It had popped up as light that was white, and then at the end appeared to, as it started moving, turn to a reddish color.
And that's important to note, is that the camera, as we said, did not pick up everything that our eyes did. I know it doesn't matter, because all that matters is what's on camera, and that's the only thing I really ever try to bring to the table is what is on camera, because I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you ghost stories that I saw something and try to, that's not what this is about. I want this to be a very honest show where if we don't see anything, we don't see anything, because I really just want to explore these things and have fun with them. Being the skeptic, I expect that everything has an explanation, that we typically won't see things. This time, however, I would say that this light does not make much sense to me, and it does not behave as any light that we could come up with for a reason for it to be.
And that's, in essence, my whole purpose behind anything like this is to, what's the reality of it? What is it? How do you debunk something? How do you confirm something? And I have come up with everything that I can think of, and I certainly am open to anybody else's opinion on the discussion about what they think it could be. But at the same time, it's viewed through a lens of somebody who wasn't there and who didn't necessarily see what we saw with our own eyes. So it's kind of tough, but I would say that I am uncertain of what it was. I'm not saying it's ghostly or otherworldly, but I do not know what it is.
There was something there. We saw it. We do have a little bit of evidence, I guess, that there was something. We don't know what it was.
I would definitely say that the evidence is great enough for me to go ahead and say that A, at this point in time, to me it is unexplained, and B, it's probably worth another trip in the future.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing if we pick up something like that again. I think it was one of the two of you when we got back looked it up further. I believe it was Rob. Could have been Steven. And one of you guys looked it up and said that the people that had seen the light saw it at this level or at this level. Is that correct?
Yeah, I looked it up to the point where they had stated that they had seen the light either at the position of somebody sitting on a horseback or down on the ground. So, and this appeared to be more at hip or waist level, based off of the trajectory of how the flashlight was shining and how we were catching that reflector.
I was going to say, because it kind of gave me an eerie feeling when you said that, because based on where the reflector was, I got the same idea that it looked like it was somebody holding it about waist height, like they're holding a lantern. Mm-hmm. Which is essentially what the myth brings us back to, is that this is, a guy out there looking for his beloved.
A guy or gal, depending on which version of the story you're used to. But someone with some type of lantern or light looking for something.
For their betrothed.
Yeah.
So, to wrap this one up, unless you guys have anything else to add, I will go ahead and say that this one, to me, is left open and unexplained. We definitely, debunked the first few things we thought we saw. We definitely saw some animal eyes, deer's eyes. We definitely saw some reflections in the car. Those things were all explained, but what we show you at the end here, and what you've seen at the end of this video where we're out there, these lights, I would love for you to comment and please tell me what your theories are on this and what you think this could be. Because if we do give this another go and we go out there again one day, I would like to use whatever your theory is to debunk this as well.
Yeah, and it's my intention to get back out there. I want to know what it is. I want to, with any luck, have the same experience that we had before and hang around a little bit longer and really determine what this could be.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, with that being private property, we might be able to figure out a way to look a little bit further down there without having to trespass.
We tried to do what we could to uphold
we
that.
did it about as legal as you could do it, and I would recommend if anybody else tries this, you do the same. I wouldn't want to see anybody get hurt. And if you guys are all set, we're going to leave this one unexplained. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you have some theories on what we're looking at. I would love to hear your theories. We all would. We'd love to have a discussion about this. Steven, I know, is amped up about this and wants to talk about it and wants to know what you think it is. He's ready to go back out there, after dinner. So we'll probably have a follow-up eventually, but as of right now, we're going to leave it unexplained. Please talk to us about it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and take care of yourselves and each other. Much love.